Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to my home. Thank you for tuning in today. We're actually on our fifth episode of Welcome to My Home, and I'm excited for today's guest. Um, but before we go into it, I'd just like to share a few of the things that we've been keeping ourselves busy with. So, firstly, we actually have a exciting creative writing workshop next Wednesday on the 6th of May at 4 p.m. We'll leave the link in the comments. We have a few slots left available, so please do sign up if you're looking for a holiday program for your kids. One other thing that we've also been working on, which is very exciting and is a continuation of the work that we've been doing in the elder care space for the past 3 years, is an initiative on intergenerational engagement within the family. So we'd like to present several opportunities and activities that we have curated. And so watch this space. Once we release that, we'll have all these different activity packs, different forms of engagement that you can use to spend quality time with your family. So do stay tuned and keep in touch for that. You can also follow us on our Instagram, and the link will be in the comments as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to all of you Dr. Eric, joining us all the way from Malaysia across the border. Dr. Eric, please.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Shah, for inviting me for this
Thank,
interview. Thank you so much for having me. Actually,
yeah,
thank you.
we really appreciate you taking your day off from the hospital, joining us.
Uh-huh.
So before we go into some of the questions that we have for you, can you share with us how you've been, especially with COVID? How are things back in Malaysia?
It's good back in Malaysia because because in Malaysia we call it the Movement Control Order (MCO). I think in Singapore, you guys call it the circuit breaker, right?
Yes, correct.
Um, because I'm a very outgoing person. I love to go out. So this MCO is really killing me. I mean, if it's for the better of the people, then I think it's good. But otherwise, I
Yep.
think it's the usual. Go back from work and back home and work home. Just that at the moment for the past 1 month.
Nice. Could you share with us and the viewers where exactly you are in Malaysia and where you are right now?
I am right now in Klang, Selangor, Malaysia. Klang is like it's like it's a huge district actually, if you ask me. But in Selangor, Malaysia right now, Klang.
Yeah, pretty near KL, right? That's right.
Pretty near. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah,
And you're in your
quite big.
room now.
I'm in my room. Actually, I'm facing the wall because I don't want you to see my bedroom because it's
It's where the magic happens, is
that's where the
it?
magic happens.
Okay, man. Before we dive in, I have an interesting question for you.
hmm
Um, so, what would you attempt if you knew you could never fail?
You see, it's an it's a very interesting question if you ask me because I might share in a while about my journey on leaving an institution and then being where am I today. It's all about failures. If you look at it. So I think without failures, I don't think I would be where am I uh, doing right now today. So I think if there is no failures, I think there is no kick in it, right, in life where you just get everything done. There's everything is given, and then you knew you will not fail. So if you to answer your question, I think it'd be better if you have a little bit of failures because it will teach you a life lesson. It will not allow you to take things for granted. So I think that will be my answer.
So you refuse the question. You do want failures in your life.
Yeah, I do want failures in my life. That
Well,
will get me going.
I do share that perspective with you. You need your ups and downs. That roller
Yeah.
coaster ride
Mhm. Mhm.
just accentuates everything, right? Both the lows and the highs.
Yeah.
Okay, so as in you've alluded a little bit, but maybe share with us what you actually do in Malaysia. What's your profession?
I'm a houseman. So a houseman is a period of 2 years where after medical school, after you graduate from medical school, you go into one of the public hospital and you work as a houseman there for 2 years. It's actually a training. You go get into a training hospitals. So after 2 years, once you have completed 2 or 3 years as a houseman, once you have completed that, then you'll be upgraded as a medical officer. So as a medical officer, then they will send you to another hospital where you work there for another 2 years with the government. And after that, then you can choose whether you want to get into the private sector or you just want to open your own clinics or do whatever you want, educate medical students, you know.
And as a houseman, I understand you are on rotation, right? What
Yes.
current rotation are you on right now?
Currently, I'm in surgical. So
Like,
I'm not a surgical person. So so I'm a very medical person. So I'm not really a surgical person. So if I get into any operation room, so I probably will be the least excited person. So I'll be like, okay, can we get
okay
over
lah,
it?
okay lah. But so I mean, being in a hospital setting, being on the front lines as a healthcare worker, like what's the situation like in Malaysia? Is the healthcare system coping well? Is the MCO actually helping? Like what's been happening there?
You know, if you read the news, you will see how Malaysia we are handling it extremely well. Under our DG, he's doing a very well job, getting things together. And if you look at it, initially there used to be like a spike of COVID-19 cases every day, about three figures, but recently is reducing because of the MCO and the way how our medical healthcare are actually preparing ourselves to fight this war against COVID-19. So I think it's very effective, and also the people. We are actually now, the laws, the rules and the law is getting very strict. Where they'll fine about 1,000 ringgit. Now, if you break the MCO, then you be facing jail time. So I think with that and the way how our healthcare are very efficient in treating this, things are getting better. It's like the number of cases are reducing, and hopefully there will not be any MCO where we can go out and then live our life again.
Yeah, even now, like I think you had shared that even food deliveries they have to stop by 8 p.m. You can't
Yes,
walk
correct.
even then, right?
It's true. So if you are craving for your midnight nasi lemak or roti canai, forget about it.
That's your
It's up
favorite
to
lah.
eight.
That's your favorite lah.
It's true.
But um, I think it's good. I'm definitely happy to hear that Malaysia is doing well in containing the virus.
Yeah,
We for sure we need a collective effort regionally and actually globally if we're going to overcome
it's true.
this virus and
Mm.
the economic impact that it has on communities and in society as well lah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's some of the good stuff. But what are some of the challenges that you have noticed or observed, especially for medical frontliners?
Um, Initially, if you read the news, the people do not take MCO seriously. So you will see the number of cases spiking, and then we do have cases where they come in seeking for help, medical help, but they didn't really honest about whenever asked if you are in contact with anyone with COVID-19, they would initially say no. I know I'm not in contact with anyone, and then after a few days then they would admit, yeah, someone that I knew had COVID-19 positive, so I've been in contact with them, and because of that dishonesty, we have lost a few medical staff where we actually have to quarantine them as well, and
Mm-hmm.
this is actually quite serious, initially, but now things are changing. Now they are very getting very honest about it. They are not afraid of the stigma. They are telling the truth if they are in contact with anyone with COVID-19. So things are getting better now. So initially was, if you look at the numbers, It's about 3 digits, but now things are getting better because we realize the importance of, being honest and to save our frontliners.
How do you think that stigma was changed, or that perception?
I think because if you look at it, the number of cured cases are also increasing. So it's not like if you had COVID-19 and if you are infected with it and then that's it, you know, you will not be cured and then the next thing you know is dead. Actually, it's not. If you look at it, the cured cases are also increasing. So they knew these are curable diseases. So it's not a stigma. It's not like if you have it lifelong, you have to face it. So once the people get to see the actual figure of cured cases actually increasing. So I think the stigma is still there, but I think it's reducing. They're getting more educated about it.
Definitely. We're all glad to hear that the efficacy or effectiveness of the contact tracing is working out.
Yeah,
I guess it has a lot to do with education and awareness, lah, right?
it's true, very
Yeah.
much.
And so, another interesting question that I have for you: in
Uh,
your experience for now 2 years, right, or coming up
mhm,
to 2 years, what
mhm.
has been the most impactful encounter that you have had with a patient?
With a patient, I can't recall many months back. So maybe I can just share to you a little story about what happened a few days ago. Because I'm in surgical, I'm no longer in the pediatric department, which I actually just completed a few months ago. I remember when I was just walking at the aisle to review a patient, a surgical patient. Then I remember this one staff nurse. She called me and she told, "Doctor, this one baby. So the patient that I'm talking about now is a baby. It's a few hours old baby, and then wasn't really." It doesn't look really that well, not breathing that well. And then
Okay.
she called me and she said, you look at this baby. What are you going to do about it? Like, can you help us?" And then so at that moment, I put my knowledge in place that I've learned previously in a pediatric posting, where I got to know that it looks like a baby with low sugar, and then we couldn't record the baby's sugar level. It was unrecordable for 3 readings, and then I did what I need to do, and I think the baby is doing all right now. So that actually reminded me why I always wanted to be a doctor. That incident that I managed to put my knowledge into place to save a patient.
Wow. Congratulations and good job. Very happy to hear that the
I was
baby is well now.
maybe it's pretty well. It's doing good, but it's quite I was nervous at that time because at that moment, and then it's just you, and then you and your knowledge, and see what you can do. I'm so glad that I did the right thing.
That's great, and I also know that you are an aspiring pediatrician.
Yes,
So hopefully this has given you even more
motivation.
motivation. Yeah,
Yeah, motivated me well that day.
great, great. Okay, so now I'd like to maybe go into more of your experiences growing up.
Mhm.
I personally know that you have a truly inspiring story, a journey of or a story of hope and resilience. And I know that you lived in a home, you were institutionalized from a young age. If I'm not wrong, you were 11 years old. Could you maybe share with us or speak to the experience of growing up in a home, and why were you living in a home?
I think before I went to the children institution, I was actually living with my grandparents in a tiny island in Penang, with my grandparents and my uncle and my aunt and my mother, and one day, just my dad, who actually got divorced with my mother, decided to bring us to the city, and then he actually just sent us to an institution and then said, "You know what, you're just going to be here for a year, and then I will come and take you all out back and we can live together as a family." So he said that, And then years went by, he never came. So, at that moment, I couldn't speak on behalf of my siblings because all four of us actually were actually sent to the children institution. But at that moment, I knew, it's difficult to actually trust the adults. That at a very young age, I learned how to defend and to fight for what I want. I think that made me to actually got to do very well in my exams. It made me to realize that through education, probably I could secure my own future without having to depend on anyone. So so my siblings and I, four of us, we were actually sent in an institution. That particular institution that I lived is in Selangor, is in Selangor near Petaling Jaya. So we used to that particular institution have two homes, one for the boys and one for the girls. So both of my sisters used to live together in a home, and then I would live with my younger brother. So if we have any tuition classes or any event, then that's when we'll meet. Otherwise, we would not meet that often. My I would not meet my siblings that often if
What
not for this cause.
I mean, and what was that like for you? Um, having, I mean, being separated from your siblings, and only having occasionally meet them via like group events or mass events. Like how were you? What were you feeling through those experiences or
You
through
know,
that
if
time?
Shah, if you have siblings, and I'm pretty sure, do you have siblings?
Yes, I do. I have two older sisters.
So I'm sure you could recall how you guys used to fight with each other, used to argue with each other when you were still a kid. So I think I miss that growing up, where I don't really get to experience all that. So over the years we became more. We acknowledge each other as siblings. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of my siblings, but I acknowledge them as my siblings. But I feel we are more like friends. I feel like I'm not like an elder brother and I have responsibility towards my younger siblings. I feel like we are friends. If you have anything to talk about, I'm here, and that's it. So
Yeah.
I think whenever I watch any YouTube videos, how siblings are actually arguing with each other, how they actually love each other, I just
Yeah.
couldn't relate to that because for many years, except for my younger brother, I lost that part of my life. So that's the
And
downside of it.
how many years were you in the home?
I would say when I was 11
Till 19.
till 19
And then
before.
what happened when you were 19?
So after 19, after my something in Malaysia, we have something called the SPM, where it is like it's an exam, public exam that you sit at the
Mhm.
end of your high school.
It's like a
So
national
after
exam.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the national exam. We call the SPM here, and after that, I was given a scholarship to pursue my A levels. So that's when I left the institution to continue my A levels. I lived in a hostel and I did my A levels, and subsequently I got into medical school.
Nice. And how are you and your siblings right now?
We are good.
You're
We are
good now?
good. Yeah, we are good.
Much closer now?
I can say that, but we are still. Yeah, we are getting there.
You actually do have a photo of your siblings, right? Maybe we
Yeah.
can just put that out. Yeah. So maybe you can share with the audience like who your siblings are, maybe a bit
Okay, so
information on them.
my younger brother, if you look at that handsome boy over there,
The one on
he
the right, is it?
the
The
one on
younger
the
boy.
right side, yeah, correct. He's currently doing his final year chemical engineering, and my younger
Awesome.
sister, the one at the front, she actually graduated as a pharmacist. And my elder sister, the one at the back, she's the first one to actually got into university, and she's actually a staff nurse and a very smart one, if you ask me. She's brilliant. She's actually trained in ICU and CCU. So reading ECG is like a piece of cake for her. So even today, I would just take a few pictures of any ECGs. I will send it to her and say, "Hey, you know what? I think it's inferior MI. What do you think?" Sometimes she will just very harshly she will message me. She said, "It's not you think. It is inferior MI." Because
this
she's very
this is a
brilliant.
family banter.
Yeah, she's actually very smart. She's one of the people that I actually look up to because she got into the medical field first. Then
Yep.
I followed her footsteps.
I guess the medical profession runs in a family. Yeah.
You can say that.
And so now, as in, do you all live together? Like, or if you don't, how often do you meet up?
My sister got married and she lived with her family, and my younger brother and my sister we are actually living in our uncle's house right now in Klang. So my sister goes to work, and my younger brother at the moment is MCO, so he's just lazing around the house. Otherwise, three of us are here, but my elder sister she's living somewhere nearby Klang with her husband and her family. But occasionally she do drop by, with her baby, cute
Yeah.
little baby. Yeah,
It
we are doing
and
all right.
and while you were living in the home, it must have been tough, right? Like, could you share with us what was the environment like?
If you ask me, because like what you mentioned, you have a few siblings, right? Imagine living in an institution with 20 children with different personality and different um, attitude and different way of thinking. It's can be a little pretty nightmare actually if you ask me, because if you are studying, then you have little kids disturbing you, four or five of them, and then
Yeah,
you have the seniors giving you a hard time.
you
you
must
know
have
if
developed a lot of patience.
you know you, you have to eventually. I think that would be one of the reasons why I wanted to be a pediatrician, because
Yeah,
I've dealt with a lot of children growing up, so
you
that
got a lot
is,
of experience there.
yeah, a lot of experience.
All right. Okay, Dr. Eric, we do have a question from one of our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dawn. Thank you for tuning in. And her question is, what made you persist throughout the 8 years in the institution? So, what kept you going?
What kept me going? That's a very good question. Many people have asked me that before, but I'm going to stick to my answer. I'm not changing it. It's actually what kept me going is that, you see, I'm sure you have read it or heard it somewhere where people say, growing up, coming from a poor background, from a very ugly background, from a broken family, that is because what the adults has done for you. Like, they sent you to an institution, they just abandoned you, but your future is what you decide. So at that moment I knew my future is to do well in my exams, to be someone successful in life. So that is on me. So if I'm still not successful in future, then it's on me. So that's when I realized education is the only way where I can be free from if you want to say poverty, yeah, can. Otherwise, at a very young age, I realized education is key for me. And many adults that told me the same thing when I was a kid. They said, education is very important for you. And ever since then, I will try to grab every single opportunity to do well in my exam. Let me share to you one story. I remember during Christmas, we do have volunteers coming in and ask, what are your wishes? Like, what do you want? I remember many children in the institution would actually say, you know what, I want a bicycle. I want a sports shoe. I remember writing, I want a chemistry, physics, and biology book, because because we couldn't afford to actually buy those
Mhm.
textbooks, revision books, because it's pretty expensive. So we don't have the budget. The orphanage don't have the budget. So I remember asking for books at when I was 16. That's when I realized, I gotta do what I gotta do to get out of poverty. I should create a better future for myself.
Well,
So
I mean, you've done absolutely well.
mhm.
Those science textbooks have brought you some way now, and you're on to being a doctor right now. So
Mm.
good job on that. Congratulations.
But
Right.
the downside of it, I lost my childhood. Like I didn't get to be,
Yeah.
naughty a child. Get that. That's the reason why I
Okay,
couldn't
Dr.
be.
Eric, we
Yeah.
can all be young at heart.
Yeah, young at heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah.
Go on. You were saying?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I lost my childhood actually. If you ask me, I couldn't relate. Some of those, some of my friends would be talking about cartoons and all that. So I'd be like, oh, interesting. Because we don't really watch cartoon that often. I mean, we have timing. Being in an institution is like a timetable. Yeah, this time you study, and this time you watch a
Yeah.
movie, just 1 hour, and then study. And then 10 o'clock bedtime, something like that. So we
Yeah.
don't really get to go out. At 11 o'clock watch whatever TV programs that we want. So it's very structured. So I grew up like that. So I to say the freedom is not
And
really there.
and I would like to ask as well, being in an environment, in an institution, in a home,
Mm.
did you receive any form of support in your academic endeavors or in your personal endeavors?
Yes, I was actually fortunate enough to be when I was in an institution. I was fortunate enough to have a committee that actually values education. They actually have a little bit of fun where they would actually hire tutors to come in and to teach us, to give us private tutoring, and to polish whichever area that we are weak. And then we do have tutors who actually teach us for free.
Mm-hmm.
This actually came in handy, where those are actually experienced tutors who actually come in, teach us for free. So
Yeah,
I actually took the
it's like
opportunity to grab whatever I can get, and to do well in
yeah,
my exams and
definitely.
all.
So I mean, I think that's a very vital support system. Having say your committee um, provide support or aid that enables you, right? That
Yeah,
grows your competence and your capabilities, right?
it's true.
And on that front, I do have another question here uh, from Tiziana.
Mhm.
So here goes the question. As a society and a community, how do we support the dreams of those who are less privileged, for example, orphans or individuals from low income, without taking away dignity? What or who did you appreciate and what worked for you in motivating you? So I guess you kind of answered a little
Yeah.
with the committee. So, but I
Yeah,
think what's interesting is this idea of how do we provide support or aid or development
that's a
for marginalized communities without taking away dignity.
No, that is a very good question if you ask me, because it's not necessarily you could actually give in terms of education. You can actually volunteer to boost our self confidence. Like you can get a team, get to an institution where you can actually bring the kids out for a day out for shopping. You actually get to teach them on the value of money, like how shopping actually, like you need to save, like how much can you spend, like what's the balance can you have after using it. Because I remember some of us, we don't even know how to use the public transport, at the age of 18 and 19, because all our life we were in an institution. uh, all the grown up does work for us, like give us food and shelter and
Yeah.
clothing. So if you could have something, any activities, you can even organize a simple swimming activities also, could boost our self confidence, not necessarily in terms of education. Because some of us, if we are not academically blessed,
Yeah.
maybe some other aspect, like we they could shine. So to answer that question, I think just to volunteer, and to give us just to volunteer and do whatever that within your capabilities of, we will
Yeah.
very much appreciate it.
Yeah. I think as in on the receiving end, I guess it's also important that beyond just academic education, that more opportunities are made available to the children and the kids, especially in homes, right? So we
Yes.
do work with one of our partners that we work with from Nepal in Kathmandu. They are a
Mhm.
group of prison children. If I'm not wrong, the last time you might have met Lakshmi
Yeah.
when you were in Singapore, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think like Pushpa, the founder of that home, puts it very well, where she says sometimes you just have to find where their interests and their passions lie,
Mm.
and from there build, right? So it's exactly like Lakshmi, where she did well in school, uh, while in the home where she was given an opportunity for education, but she also eventually pursued her own passion and interest in fine arts.
Wow.
Now she's using that as a contribution to society, right? Where she wants to design, create, and implement art therapy programs for women in the prisons in Nepal. So I
Yeah.
think
Actually,
that's what you said is fantastic.
and also if you look at it, mean children who are in an institution, we are actually quite talented people, so I think when I was in institution, I'm so blessed that many volunteers who came in, they do not treat us like a second class citizen. They feel that we should be given the equal opportunity as they are giving for their own children.
Yep.
So in that case, that's why some of them, they are giving free tutoring, and they donate books, and they frequently visit us and have some outdoor activities, because they want us to feel equal. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the respect that they actually gave us, and in return, you see some of us are doing extremely well. Like if you look at my siblings, we did well academically. Not only me, we do have children who I actually a lawyer now. We do have a girl who is already a lawyer right now, and a girl who actually did her MBA and accounting, got straight A's. We do have a girl who is actually in the fashion world right now. So we are actually we do have some talent. So we just expect the community to actually see us as equal, and to
Mm-hmm.
give us the opportunity that
Yep.
we deserve as other children who are actually living with their family members.
In this same line of treating, of course, every individual with respect and dignity,
Yes.
do have a follow up comment or question here. So, with volunteering, sometimes people only do one off engagements. Do you feel that that is detrimental, especially for orphaned kids?
So basically, no. One of like if you could come, I remember this one guy when I was in an institution. I remember he used to come, a guy who just finished SPM. He's actually quite a smart boy. He used to come, just a 18-year-old or 17-year-old boy. He used to come and say, you know what, I'm going to help you with your homework. That might seem very little for him, but it actually meant a lot for us. He could just come for one Saturday, or he just could come for every other Saturdays. Also, it's okay. His presence there for at that day meant a lot for us. Like we get to perhaps learn something new from him. So it's okay if you're going to do it one time, or you're going to come back every other day. It's also okay. I mean, your presence there. You could be doing something else. Probably you could go watch a movie, or you can just spend time with your loved ones or friends. But you chose to be there with us, giving
Yeah.
us what you could offer. We'll appreciate that. It's not
But
uh, not
I
something bad, actually, if you ask me.
but actually I do have a question. Do you think there might be psychological or emotional um, impacts on a kid if if for example a kid gets emotionally attached to a said volunteer, right? But said volunteer maybe comes like twice and then leaves and may not come back, right? Whatever his or her reason may be, lah. Right? What are your thoughts on that, or what's your opinion?
If you ask me, to be emotionally attached with someone, I don't think so. It happens overnight. It has to happen like over the years. Like I do have a guardian who journeyed with me when I was 11 years old, even till today. She was the main reason. She was my support system she is my support system. Actually, she's always there for me. Now that is the emotional
Attachment.
attachment
Yeah.
towards this particular person. So I think your one-off visit, or your every other Saturday, is not going to actually have that kind of emotional attachment towards anyone. We understand where we are. I think this is me speaking on behalf of children living in institution, because I have lived long enough to actually understand that. We understand that people do come, help us out, and they eventually leave and do their things. So I don't think so over a short period of time we will actually develop emotional attachment towards
Yeah.
anyone. And then again, we do have Facebook. Nowadays children, they do have Facebook, so we can communicate through
Keep in
Facebook,
contact. Yeah.
keep in contact, keep in touch through Facebook. So we do.
Speaking Speaking of keeping in contact, maybe I'll take this opportunity to pull up the photo from when you were in the home.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you in touch with any of your
Yeah, actually, we
brothers?
do have a WhatsApp group where most of us are in it, because we grew up together. But some of us, I think, we are Facebook friends. If you look at it, we are actually Facebook friends. But, occasionally we will chat. But, some of us are married. I'm not married.
Yeah.
Some
Still
some of
single
them
and available.
some of
Ready to
them are
mingle.
actually some of them actually married, they have their children, they're doing well. Sometimes I just scroll through their pictures and then feel sad for myself. Wow, they're very happy. But yeah, we do sometimes comment mean thing on their Facebook page.
Awesome. So back to how I mean you had your guardian who was always there for
Yeah.
you,
Mm.
and the experiences that you've had. Like what
Mm.
motivated you or inspired you to pursue medicine? Why
Be-
medicine?
Why medicine? Because I couldn't think of doing anything else besides medicine. I know it might seem like an impossible dream, especially for a child who has nothing. I have nothing. When I live in an institution, I have nothing. No money, no guarantee in life what's going to happen to you. I think it's all about the opportunity that I had, that the adults, my guardian, who actually believed in me, and also children who living in institution, believe that each of us have our dreams. What are we if we are not, if we don't have dreams, right? So, and then she did fought for our dreams. We did what we need to do, and then with the support of our guardian, she fought for our dreams, and today I'm doing what I'm doing because of her.
Yeah.
So if I could advise anyone who's watching this right now, or any auntie or uncle, or anyone who actually wants to help out a child, remember that you are actually investing in their future.
Yeah.
Probably they will do that to someone else. Even I'm thinking of, if I'm in future, if I'm doing very well, probably I would want to help out another child.
Mm.
It's like a cycle,
Yeah.
because if the community help me, and I want to help back, I want to give back what I've received.
I mean, I think you're definitely paying it forward right now, being
Absolutely.
a medical professional, being in the healthcare sector, especially in these difficult times. And I also know that you and your family are contributing to the community, um, providing, if correct me if I'm wrong, but providing supplies and food to your neighbors
Yeah.
in your neighborhood as well, right?
Mm.
So I think you definitely are paying it forward and doing a good job and contributing back to society and the community.
Mm.
Yep. So I think yeah, I'm just checking if we have any other questions. We don't. Okay, I have a final question, and this
Okay.
is where you can assist us or recommend from a medical perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that everyone is staying home and
Mm-hmm.
staying safe, what are some tips on staying healthy
Staying
while we're alive?
healthy.
Yeah,
I think with this COVID-19, this new disease, we call it the novel COVID-19, because it's a new virus. We don't know how it works. So I think at the moment, if you read news and you read what the expert actually says from WHO, or just from your own health ministry is the basic things like to be hand hygiene, to if you are sick, don't go out, don't be in contact with anyone, quarantine yourself. And then in terms of because now we are not allowed to go to gym, so I remember I hope my neighbor is not watching this, because I saw my neighbor actually he's doing his own yoga and Zumba in his house.
Yeah.
So that is one thing, he would
Working
open
out at home lah.
working out at home,
Yeah.
open YouTube and then follow whatever they do. So that's
Yeah.
one way how to be healthy. Not necessarily you have to go to gym to do it. Yeah.
And I'm sure another way to be healthy is less suppers, less nasi lemak,
Being
right?
Malaysian, that is actually difficult to follow, but we'll try. Mm,
All the best with that. I know
mm.
that you're learning how to cook, and you just tried to cook your sambal udang, right?
Is very difficult. So if I don't get to go out, I'll cook it at home. It's not that good, but it's there.
It's good for now.
Good for now.
All right. Okay. I think we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you.
Eric,
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
online and joining us for Welcome to My Home and on the fifth episode of Welcome to My Home. Thank you, everyone who's tuned in, spent your evening together with us. We will have our next Welcome to My Home episode this Friday at 4 p.m. With Khadija. And she's a close friend and partner who works with refugees in Malaysia. So she has a lot of interesting stories and also updates on how they are supporting the community of refugees in Malaysia. So please do join us on Friday. We will leave the link on our social media platforms. So yeah, have a great evening. And once again, thank you very much, Dr. Eric, for
Thank
joining.
you so much for having me. Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.